In New Brunswick, fair New Brunswick, with its lovely woods and bay, hydro-fracking, says Sir Albert, is going to happen, come what may.
I'd just like to know how Bruce Northrup can possibly approve hydraulic fracking in the province of New Brunswick when he attended a House of Commons Standing Committee in Ottawa and he listened to Dr. Antonio Ingrafia, who's one of the world's most renowned experts in the field of hydraulic fracking, say clearly that the province of New Brunswick should not move forward with the fracking in this province because of our geology being very similar to that in the state of Pennsylvania, where they've had so many problems.
Minister Northrup yesterday made the comment that there is no proof yet that it is a bad thing because there hasn't been a successful lawsuit. That is absolutely ridiculous. It's like saying the abusive husband isn't going to murder the wife that he's threatening. The cops won't do anything until after she's dead, right?
It was our understanding initially that the purpose of this meeting was for stakeholders to come together, to have a chance to discuss the issue, and to try to reach some sort of responsible consensus. And if a decision has already been made, then what's going on inside here today can really be described as nothing more than a public relations stunt.
Mr. Northrup has gone to visit Arkansas and British Columbia and talks about how wonderful fracking is there. However, their geology is not the same as it is in the province of New Brunswick.
Now the government is not going to ban fracking, that's what they're saying. They're only discussing the fine details of how they're going to do it safely. Now, there is no such a thing as safe fracking.
Mr. Alexander, the manager of SWN, was shuttled around the parking lot, not in front, because all the people were standing there trying to welcome him. He was going all the way around using the back entrance. I am wondering, how ashamed does one have to be of themselves to have to use the back entrance and not to be able to face the people?
The guy is extremely professional. He answers within 25 minutes of me emailing him. And I asked him outright, how many wells have you replaced in the last 5 years? The answer was none, because there is no proof of a link between the well being contaminated by the fracking.
I went inside and there's not even one Mi'kmaq representation in there, and they're just not. They're doing it all wrong, and it's wrong. They're going to ruin Mother Earth, and we have to stop it.
I know.
In New Brunswick, we're seeing the industry and the government using the same talking points. They're all coming out saying that there's no proof, there's no legal case that has proved that this is harming our water, that their fracking is actually destroying our water. It's never been proven in court. That sounds awfully similar to what happened in the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s through the tobacco industry.
Shale gas fracking with its poisons, carbon footprints more than coal, air pollution, wells with methane, all for profits, all words go.
We can make money somewhere else, not like this. You're ruining the land. Once the land is gone, the water's gone, you cannot bring it back. And then you water 500 years we worked hard, so all the nations could be here in New Brunswick today, enjoying New Brunswick. And now you guys are going to make a decision that's going to wipe us all out? No, you guys got to stop this now and say enough is enough. No. Sometimes the almighty dollar is not worth it. The land is more. We need this for the next generation, for our children and our children yet to come. So I hope that when you're in there, you're going to say that, because we're not going to allow it in our territory. Like I said, out of the 51, 7 are in the Wolastoq this territory, and the rest are in the Mi'kmaq territory. And we, as the Mi'kmaq, we will not allow it. And you can tell that to those companies. We will protest, we will bring in whatever it takes, but we will not allow those. My people have sent me here today to come and tell you that. We met a couple of days ago. Thank you.
I met with the chiefs a couple of days ago, and we're going to have continuous dialogue with the First Nations.
Yes.
And I think you're aware of that we did meet with them the other day.
No.
With that and the forestry industry. We're hoping to to get royalties for the province, and we're hoping to get royalties for the landowner themselves. For as long as you're here. It's going to be on a monthly basis as far as royalties go.
But if the majority of a community says no to fracking, says that we don't want water either drawn from elsewhere and trucked in, we don't want it drawn from here, we just don't want it,
And no means
will it
no.
happen?
I've said that, and I hear people saying that here today. And no means no. If somebody comes on your property and you don't want it, you say no. No means no. Government's not going to come in and say, I'm going to let industry on your land. I can promise you that. I can promise you that they won't do that.
What about the mining rights that have been granted to those companies? If those companies have mining rights on certain lands, are they going to be able to proceed whether the community accepts it or
If
not?
the landowner says no, no means no, and that's what the general conversation is here today, that no means no. Government is not going to tell the private landowner to let industry on the land.
Okay, so Mr. Northrup, this is an important statement that you're making here.
That's why I said it. No means no.
You're telling me
But
that
they can go 2 kilometers under our land
that's the
anyway
question.
from your
If the people of New Brunswick tell you loud and clear that they don't want this, are you going to listen to them and do what they don't
If
want?
the individuals don't want the industry on their land, then no means no.
How many of
And what
us
about
is
the
it going to take?
communities?
If everybody says no, if everybody says no,
How can we say no? What are our avenues for saying no?
you can tell the industry that no means no.
How do we do that?
By what
Send
you're
an
doing,
email?
well, what you're doing today and sending emails to them, yes.
We held a screening. We held a screening of a film in Hampton on Saturday night, and there was a gentleman there who deliberately was provoking and instigating people at the meeting and would not announce who he was. We later found out that he worked for Corridor Resources. That tells me industry is in no way accountable to citizens.
This is Mi'kmaq, Maliseet, and Passamaquoddy territory. It is unceded territory, and we're tired of people making money and profit at our expense and at people's health.
No means no.
Everything.
No means no.
Let's sit down and talk about this, okay?
The education minister said, you want good education in New Brunswick? We have to pay for it, and the only way we're going to do it is if we have shale gas revenue. But if transfer payments go down, as shale gas revenue goes up, then nothing will change. There won't be money going to education.
They're selling all this gas to the New England states, which has no benefit to us. We don't even have a market for natural gas in New Brunswick. So we're basically being raped by the government and the corporations.
When the profits and the shale gas both go south and leave for us aquifers with poisoned water, does he think we will not fuss? Albert Blaney think that mapping can make wetlands go away. Do they think a fracking earthquake doesn't happen 'cause they say?
One thing that I'm concerned is that you have the industry here basically explaining the process from A to Z of how to extract that gas out of the ground. Now, the concern I have is that where is the technical opposition to what industry is saying? The people that have technical background in the field to be able to question what the industry is informing the government and public on.
In the early 1980s, I was a fresh graduate right out of high school, and I landed up in northern Alberta, northern British Columbia, working oil exploration, seismic. And we were working around a town called Westlock, Alberta, and I worked on what we call a blasting crew. And my job title was a jug hound. A jug hound, what we did is we went out and put the geophones on the ground that picked up the vibration of the blast when it was set off. And as we set out outside of Westlock, we went by this farmer's field, and we could see his farmyard and his barn house and all that. And we went through, we done the blasting, we set off our charges, picked up our data, and when we returned later in that day to pick up our equipment, the farmer come out and he was quite irate at us, and he had a few choice words, and he chewed us out pretty big time. And our lead hand foreman, whatever you'd like to call him, come along and kind of took the farmer and said, listen, these boys are just doing their job. He says, you don't have to chew them out. But I guess what happened is when we went through setting off our charges of dynamite, and we collapsed his well on his in his barn and the one in the house. And so therefore the farmer had no more water for his animals and his house. And they say, I was at a meeting in Rogersville, and the company Southwestern told me that this was impossible, that it has never happened. And you know, I lived it, I worked it, I know it does happen. So just in the seismic aspect of this here is really dangerous to our wells as well. They say anywhere from 60 to 80 feet they put the charges of dynamite in the ground. And I think in rural area New Brunswick, most of our wells, a lot of them are hand dug, especially in the older areas, and you're looking anywhere from 20 to 40, 50 feet for our hand wells. So any vibration or any activity around our homes is going to disrupt the watershed. And it's, you know, the company's going to turn around, and are they going to compensate the local people for their wells? Is the government going to step in and say, hey, you know, what is the government prepared to do, and how far are they going to back? Like, do we have to sell everything to fight the government just to get a recognition of the company doing damage? Really, it's not a good thing.
In our system of justice, I would think that the onus should be on them to prove that their procedures are safe. It shouldn't be on these people out here, grandmothers and mothers and children.
Okay, hold on. Get your sign then.
Could you please listen to those of us who do our homework, who read, who study, and who are intelligent, because we are looking out for the future of this beautiful province.
No shale gas! 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 No shale gas!
We're going to be very upfront with this. Minister of Environment and myself went out and talked to the people this morning and heard their concerns, and you know, those concerns are legitimate, and that's what this process is all about, communication. And we've been having open houses in Salisbury, Sussex, Peniac, and we'll continue with those open houses to hear from the people of New Brunswick, and the industry is also involved in that too. So we're, like I say before, we're not going to crawl up in a hole and go away. We want to be very upfront with people, and that's what this forum today is about.
This shouldn't occur at any time before studies can be completed, which would probably take a decade or two, because the complexity of the, if nothing else, just the chemicals in the environment is such that you know, medical people and chemists are almost hogtied in trying to figure out all the interreactions.
What are the actual dollar values of the royalties? What are the actual job creation numbers? Any remedial damage that may be done to sites down the road? We'd like to know who would be responsible for repairing those. Would it be the government? And if so, would it come out of the royalties which are paid to the province of New Brunswick, which would significantly reduce their net value? Would it be the landowner who is innocent in all of this? Or will it be the companies who may by that time have left the jurisdiction, because some of these problems may not become apparent for 15 or even 20 years. These questions are not being answered, and our concern is that if the government cannot answer the fundamental economic questions, then why are they proceeding in such apparent haste? Would it not be better to get their homework done first and then proceed in a more business-like fashion and more responsible manner?
Either government hasn't done their job properly in researching, or they are so well paid by the industry that they're pretending that it's all nice and safe.
You're telling me that
we can go 2 kilometers under our land.
That's the question. If the people of New Brunswick tell you loud and clear that they don't want this, are you going to listen to them and do what they don't want?
The individuals don't want the industry on their land, then no means no.
How many of us
what about
is
the
it going to
communities?
In New Brunswick, fair New Brunswick, we the people have a say. We say no to fracking shale gas. It's a price we will not pay. Don't come back no more, no more, no more, no more.
Get the frack out.
Don't come back no